allies of Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch, are urging a significant shift in her approach to Prime Minister's questions, PMQs, advocating for a complete overhaul of her strategy and a bolstering of her advisory team. The calls for change follow widespread criticism of her performance against Labour leader Keir Starmer, with concerns voiced by numerous MPs regarding the effectiveness of her questioning and the overall impact of her appearances at PMQs. The discontent stems from a perception that Badenoch is frequently raising irrelevant issues and employing unconvincing lines of attack, failing to capitalize on what should be her most significant platform to shape the political narrative. Furthermore, concerns have been raised about the perceived lack of robust support she receives from her colleagues during these crucial parliamentary exchanges. While the majority of Conservative MPs express sympathy for Badenoch, acknowledging her relatively short tenure of less than 4 months, a notable faction, including several frontbenchers, are advocating for the inclusion of experienced Tory figures within her advisory circle. They believe that seasoned political strategists are essential to equip her with the skills necessary to effectively deliver impactful political blows. This discontent was further fueled by Badenoch's performance during this week's PMQs. Her questioning of Starmer focused on a controversial attempt by a Gazan family to utilize a Ukrainian resettlement scheme to enter the UK, as well as the appointment of a new borders inspector residing in Finland. A staunch defender of Badenoch countered the criticisms, emphasizing that, regardless of media commentary, the leader is effectively holding Starmer accountable. This week, he misled the House of Commons regarding the Gazan family's case, the source asserted. He claimed the court case fell under the previous government's jurisdiction, which is untrue. He also refused to clarify whether the current government would appeal the verdict. This isn't an isolated incident. There have been previous examples. Her role is to provide effective opposition, and that's precisely what she's committed to doing every week. She won't be distracted or swayed by external opinions. However, the underlying murmurs of discontent have ignited considerable apprehension amongst Conservative figures, particularly concerning the potential fallout from anticipated poor results in the upcoming May local elections. MPs are acutely aware that any discussion surrounding a leadership change at this juncture would portray the party in an absurd and deeply damaging light, a scenario they are determined to avoid. The concerns are further amplified by the persistent belief amongst many Tories that Robert Jenrick, the Shadow Justice Secretary whom Badenoch defeated in the leadership contest, still harbors significant leadership ambitions and remains a potential challenger, waiting patiently in the wings for an opportune moment. This underlying tension adds another layer of complexity to the already precarious situation facing the Conservative Party. The pressure is mounting on Badenoch to demonstrate a marked improvement in her PMQ's performance, not just to appease her critics within the party, but also to prevent any further erosion of public confidence in her leadership abilities. The upcoming local elections will serve as a crucial barometer of public sentiment, and the outcome will undoubtedly have a profound impact on the future trajectory of her leadership. The need for a strategic realignment, encompassing both her approach to PMQs and the composition of her advisory team, is becoming increasingly urgent. The stakes are high, and the consequences of inaction could be significant for the Conservative Party's prospects in the months and years ahead. The scrutiny on Badenoch's leadership will undoubtedly intensify, and her ability to navigate this turbulent period will define her legacy in the years to come. The calls for change are not simply whispers within the party. They represent a significant challenge to her authority and a stark warning that significant improvements are needed to quell the growing unrest. The coming weeks and months will be crucial in determining whether Badenoch can successfully address these criticisms and consolidate her position as the leader of the Conservative Party. The weight of expectation is considerable, and the road ahead is fraught with challenges. The success or failure of her leadership will ultimately depend on her ability to adapt, learn, and effectively respond to the changing political landscape. The pressure is immense, and the clock is ticking.